Hello there, good morning. Welcome to Breakfast this Monday with Sally Nugent and John Kay.
Our headlines for you today.
News.
Thank you, John. Water companies in England say they're planning to almost double spending on infrastructure by 2030 to cut leaks, reduce sewage discharge and build reservoirs. The cost would be passed on to customers. They've submitted proposals to the regulator worth £96 billion, which would see the average bill rising by more than £150 by 2030. Here's our environment correspondent, Jonah Fisher. Pupils from 2 schools involved in a fatal bus crash in Merseyside will be offered support as they return to class this morning. The Chancellor will announce an increase in the national living wage when he addresses the Conservative Party conference in Manchester later today. Jeremy Hunt will also say he's planning stricter rules for some benefit claimants. Our political correspondent, Ione Wells, has this report. Well, let's speak to our chief political correspondent, Henry Zeffman, who is at the Conservative Party conference this morning. Morning, Henry. So what are we expecting from these announcements that are due to be talked about today? Henry, about some guidance on mobile phone issues in schools.
This was 3 days. This is a long 3 days for Henry and the team there, just down the road. 14 minutes past 6. Spoiler alert, if you haven't yet watched last night's Strictly Come Dancing, turn away, close your ears for a couple of seconds.
Because we're going
Most of us.
Yeah, because they still stay involved, don't they? They still go and dance and watch the show and
Takes two and all of that.
Don't have the stress, maybe, of being voted on a Saturday night.
Indeed. Look, Carol's got the weather for us this morning. Right, let's have a look at the Monday morning papers, shall we? And
also, we should just say we are hoping to talk to Luke Donald later in the programme. I'm just going to say that. What time is it now? It's 18 minutes past 6. I think after 8:30.
Yeah.
We're hoping to, but I know they've been partying quite long into the night.
What are the chances?
Well, let's wait and see, shall we? Keep your fingers crossed, everyone. And if you're thinking about... It's gone a bit autumnal, hasn't it? If you're thinking about pumpkin carving in a few weeks' time, you're going to have plenty to work with because farmers say pumpkins are going to be bigger than ever this year.
Paper in the Mail today, Sal, that says that... Did you have a gerbil as a child?
No.
Pet gerbil?
No, didn't have. My mum was a teacher and she used to bring a gerbil home from school in the summer holidays for us to look after, but I was never allowed one permanently.
I had 2 permanent.
Oh, of course you did.
Bobble and Squeak, their names were.
No.
In those days, in the 70s, it was very straightforward, but apparently gerbils are going to be reclassed as exotic creatures.
No.
They weren't that exotic in the 70s. But apparently that could mean that if you have a gerbil in future, you might have to do a pre-purchase knowledge test to properly understand your animals. Understand how you need to feed them, house them, the temperature, the food that they take. It's a complicated business these days.
You need a licence for a gerbil.
It's not
Is that what you're telling me?
It's not a full licence, but you will be quizzed extensively before you're allowed to buy one.
How difficult is it to look after a gerbil, John?
Bobble and Squeak had no complaints.
What do you feed them?
Not Bobble and Squeak. I can't remember, just grain and rabbit.
Did you feed them or did someone else do it for you?
Probably. But if I'd done the quiz, I'd have known. It's 19 minutes past 6.
Now, earlier this year, the promising British athlete Innes Fitzgerald turned down the chance to fly to the World Cross Country Championships in Australia for environmental reasons.
And after speaking out on climate issues, her story made headlines around the world, and now she has won a BBC Green Sport Award, and Casa Alon has been to meet her.
Yeah, he's your pal now, isn't he?
He is.
You went to the palace together.
In his weekly slot, Seleni will be here to talk to us. Yeah, he was slurping tea, so hopefully we won't be slurping his coffee here with us on the sofa this morning. Right, let's check in with our teams around the UK now to get the news, the travel and weather where you are. See you in a second.